In today we've got the Corsa D 1.2 Twinport. Problem we've got with this one at the moment is the cooling fan is running constantly. It's on all the time. When the engine's running, the cooling fan's on. We've got an engine management warning light staying on. It's running, it's not running right. It seems like it's running rich. It's putting too much fuel in. So we're going to read the codes on it, find out what's going on. Plugging it straight into the OBE port underneath the centre console. We'll pop the ignition on. These are the codes I've been given. The one at the top's the one we're interested in. I'll go into more detail about these at the end. So we've read those codes and we know now that it's a temperature sender. Now there's two temperature senders on this car. There's one on the side of the engine. So over there towards the right, underneath, behind the filler cap there, you can see, there it is, look, that's the little fella, tucked into that plastic housing. And there's one tucked away down in the radiator. Here, come with me down here. Right down the bottom, you can get your hand down there to see it, but there it is, look, that wire going into the side of the radiator, there's the clip. We need to find out which one of those is the faulty one. It's ever so easy if you've got the code reader, like I showed in my previous video. I'll put a link into this video in the description. Attach it to your phone using the Wi-Fi and you can go into the sensors and actually see live readings. From that we can detect that the sensor in the radiator is showing minus 40 degrees all the time, and it's like 26 degrees. So we know that that is the faulty sensor. That's the one we're going to replace. If you haven't got a code reader, you could replace both of the coolant temperature sensors. You could change them both. They're not that expensive on this car, but it's a known fact on this model that the one in the radiator corrodes and causes problems. That's why you've got to check. The actual sensor corrodes the water, gets inside the sensor and then can corrode the pins on the connector plug as well. Always check those connector plug pins because they could be corroded. If they are, you've got to change the plug. So here we go, here's the sensor, that's the part number. And there it is in all its glory, look. And that's just a brass end, and that's why it rots eventually with the antifreeze corrodes into it. So let's get on. We push the clip on the plug to pull it off, and then you've got the metal horseshoe clip that you just literally pull off towards the engine. You can get your arm down, like I say, it's a bit tight and fiddler. I'm struggling with the camera to get it down there. So we'll get the pliers onto that metal retaining clip and it literally just pulls straight out towards the engine. It just pops off, there it is, look. Really easy to get off. This little sensor, it's pushed into a little O-ring. So all you're going to do is once you've pulled the wire off, there we press the little tab and pull the plug off to get the wire, the connector off it. Little 2 pins on that plug, they're very, very small. We can then just give that sensor a little wiggle and pull it clean out of the radiator. If you leave the cap on the radiator and there's no pressure, the engine's cold at this point, obviously we don't want to take it out while it's hot, you won't lose a massive amount of fluid. You'll only lose a very, very small amount, which pull the old one out and literally stick the new one straight back in again, and you'll hardly lose any antifreeze out of the system. Put that clip back on again. Obviously when you pull the sensor out, just make sure that the O-ring stays in the radiator and doesn't come out on the end of the sensor. It shouldn't do, it should stay in the radiator, they're quite tight. You don't need to replace it, just literally pop the new sensor in. There it is in all its glory now, nicely tucked away there. Connector plugs back in again. And there you can see the old sensor, how it's corroded. You can see the corrosion on it. A little pinhole in it, and the water's got inside that connector plug there and just caused a tiny amount of corrosion, but it's not enough to rot the terminals on this one. So we'll just make sure that there's plenty of fluid in there. If not, we can always top that back up with antifreeze. Lid's on nice and tight. So using the code reader once again, we can erase the fault in the memory, clear them all off because we've fixed the problem. We'll start the car up, check that dashboard, let's see, look, yeah, clear as a bell. Code has gone and the engine management light is not staying on, so it's a good job. So when we're talking about fault codes and what they mean, it can be really easy to be thrown off track. you've got to see through the froth and just go for the important facts that you need. So what we've got here is 4 codes. We've got the POOB 4 code, which is the coolant temperature sensor. We've got coolant level sensor, or coolant level low in engine. We've got a intake manifold pressure sensor malfunction, and we've got this lean mixture adaptation. So we've got to look at those and go, what's important? You need things, you need facts that are happening. So is the coolant level sensor going to make the radiator make the coolant fan run all the time? No. Is the intake manifold pressure sensor going to make the coolant fan run? No, it's not. What about the mixture? Is the mixture going to make the coolant fan run up? No. The only thing in that list that's going to make the coolant fan run all the time is the temperature sensor. It's thinking, because when we looked at the coding and it said it was -40, what the ECU does, it throws in, it says it can't be -40, that's ridiculous, because the other sensor's saying that it's 20 degrees. So it's trying to figure out between the two what's correct and what's not. So it just puts a static figure in. It goes, I don't know what the temperature is, I'm going to put the fan on just to be on the safe side. So that's why the fan's running all the time. The ECU is trying to make sense of what it's seeing. It knows that something's not right, the temperature it's not correct, so I'm going to put the fan on and keep the car cool. So that's a really good, yeah, that's a good, we know that the fan's on. That's why out of all of those codes, the only one that makes sense is going to be the coolant temperature sensor. So the other faults that are in there, then why are they there? What's going on? So what we can say from that is that the coolant temperature sensor, does that have an effect on the other codings? Does it have an effect on the other codes? And the answer is yes, it does. We've got the manifold pressure. So because it's got this static coolant voltage, it doesn't know how hot the air is. So it doesn't know how much fuel to put in, because it doesn't know if it's on choke, it doesn't know whether it's -50 or +30, it doesn't know. So the mixture is never going to be right, because obviously the air temperature coming in mixed with the fuel that it's putting in that it thinks may be right is not going to be right. So it's just, the mixture is going to be all over the place. So the engine's going to be running, I said at the beginning, I thought it was running rich, which it could possibly be. Although it's saying it on the coding, it's saying lean. Again, it doesn't really know. All it's doing is taking that figure from the oxygen sensor, how much oxygen is going into the exhaust through unburnt fuel and all those kind of characters. It's trying to work it out. Then we've got the intake manifold pressure sensor. Again, because the air is denser, it's cooler than what it thinks, it's warmer, so the air's thinner than what it thinks, the pressure in the manifold is going to be incorrect. So we can say again, from that coolant temperature sensor giving the wrong information, that would also have an effect on the intake manifold pressure sensor. So what is known, what people do when they get the code reader and they just go, yeah, let's plug it in, let's get some codes out. So they get all these codes up there, they go straight down the part shop, buy a intake manifold pressure sensor, go out and buy a coolant temperature sensor, or both of them. You know, you could go and replace all these things, but it doesn't need them all. The coolant temperature sensor in that list is the only thing that's going to affect everything. Now, you could have multiple faults there, you could have other things that are wrong, but we know for a fact, by what we've seen, we know the radiator fan is whizzing all the time. Let's change that coolant temperature sensor first, re-clear it, reset it, and go again. And if the fault comes back on again, we then investigate further. But you can only go on what you see. You've always got to go with what's happening and try and make sense of the codes. That's the best way I can say. So I hope that makes sense a little bit of the way I look at it, the way my mindset is with these codings, how I think about how working it out and what's causing the problem and what's not. So there we have it, sensor changed, reset the system, everything's absolutely spot on. Really good job. Hope that's been of use. If you've got the same problem, drop me a little thumbs up, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.